What's up guys, YvensB here. In an effort to analyze the ever-changing landscape that is called photography, I want to take a look at the evolution of how we got to a actual $40 graphics tablet for retouchers. Although Apple quote-unquote invented the graphic tablet, Wacom took really the world by storm with almost at a certain point 80% of the market share for graphic tablets was an actual Wacom tablet, which is impressive. Things have changed a lot in the last few years for graphic tablets, and many new manufacturers have came to the scene since the invention of the graphic tablet. I personally got my first tablet back in 2009, which was an Intuos 3, when I was really interested in digital art or digital drawing, and very quickly realized that I was not really good at it. However, 11 years later, I still use the same graphic tablet that I bought back in 2009, and that just speaks volumes about the quality of the product that I bought from Wacom. In general, they're very solid tablets. But that brings us to today. There are now tons of new players in the graphics tablet department. On top of my head, I can name the XP Pen with their excessively aggressive marketing campaigns. I can name the Apple iPad, the Microsoft Surface, the Lenovo Yoga, and we end up with the Huion H640P and their entire family of products. And I really want to talk more about the last one because they are by far the cheapest graphics tablets available with the XP Pen. And why would I still be looking at a new graphic tablet if I have one that's functioning perfectly and still delivers the way I want to deliver? Well, it's simple. It's a question of ergonomics. I love my Intuos 3. It's still a working horse, but it is huge. And let me show you what it looks like. And that is my current graphic tablets. It is humongous. The actual tablet is actually bigger than my 15-inch laptop, which is a real big pain to carry. I tend to work off my laptop and not always editing in my dark basement or my dungeon, as I call it, where I edit most of my photos. So sometimes I like to move around. And for this reason, I don't always work on my work surface, which is big. I always sometimes work in smaller restrained areas. I've considered buying a smaller Intuos Pro, which is actually smaller, and compared it to the XP Pen, but my contrarian mind decided otherwise since I was barraged by a million ads on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and said no mas. And that's where my friend Alex Guy, I will link his channel here, actually suggested me to look into the Huion because they are just that cheap. And I said, you know what, it's like $40 or $50 in Canada. Why not? Let's just buy one and see what it does. So I bought one. So here's a quick review of the H640P, and I'll give you my impressions and the specs. So the tablet measures 260 millimeters by 147, which roughly gives it 10 inches by 5.8 inches, with a working surface of 6.3 inches by 3.9. So you don't get to draw in the entire tablet, just a portion of it. The whole thing weighs about 277 grams, which is actually super light, and comes with 8 nibs, 1 pen, a pen holder, USB cable, and a USB-C adapter for those who like to draw on their phone. You guys are maniacs. And actually this tablet works well on a 4K computer because this is what I'm using at the moment. It's a 4K monitor. It's the big advantage is I don't have to draw very far away to do my marks. I can really just navigate on that small surface and get to the end of my screen without too much flickering, which is a big plus. An example, if you hate using a mouse or if you don't like using a trackpad like mine, mine actually burned my fingers for some reasons. This is a good solution as a replacement if you have ergonomic issues and if you want to basically stay at an upright position with your wrist. And you can count on 8,192 levels of pressure, so whenever you're pressuring your pen to give you very precise ink disbursement. So the pressure levels are important because they act like a brush. So an example, if I grab the pen here and you press that, it would basically imitate the same pressure that you would add on for a brush. Not exactly natural, but something similar. The build quality. The build quality here, well, let's just be honest, this is not a tank. You're buying this for $50, and let's keep that in mind when we review this product. So the entire thing is actually plastic fantastic, as Kai Wong would say. So there is no mat that comes with this tablet. It's simply a plastic surface that you can draw on. The mat is typically there to give you a better resistance or feel whenever you're drawing on it. So there's a bit of teeth, as they call it in the industry, to help you basically draw more realistically the feel of paper, which you don't have here. Here you basically slide your pen across the tablet. So I have to ask around my friends, see whichever they liked, and some of them came and said, well, I actually prefer the graphics tablet or the plastic tablets because they tend to give me a better swipe and I don't feel that much resistance or teeth to this. I personally prefer the matte because that's what I'm used to, and also because I came from digital art. I'm not a digital artist, but I came from there, and I actually prefer the texture because I can feel the resistance. But to each their own, sometimes plastic does feel better for some people. And I want to go back to the comment I said earlier, which is plastic fantastic. Well, if you do drop this over even a height of maybe like 4 feet or even less, it might not survive the drop. This is not solid whatsoever. This is pretty cheaply made. And again, let's keep in mind that it's made to be sold at $50, which is not that expensive. And also, well, is a big plus, it comes with rubber mats or rubber feet. So basically, whenever you put it on your desk, it won't slide, so you can have a good resistance whenever you're drawing. Also, aesthetics. Again, this thing, as you can see, maybe in camera, is a smudge fest. Basically, whenever you run your fingers, you will have all your greasy deposits that will be lying there. So it's, again, the fact that it's black maybe attracted a lot of those smudges. Again, not the best thing, but overall it's very simplistic and nothing that's like out of norm or doesn't stick. The only thing that I wish that they would do better is the graphics tablet surface area has 4 dots, and that indicates the surface area you can work on whenever you're retouching or actually using it as a mouse. And to me, it's almost invisible, and that means that you can almost run it out of this. I just wish there would like maybe hard lines, but again, that might be just like a design decision, and typically you would be looking at your screen whenever you're touching this, so that could be the reason why they did this. So what kind of functions do you get with the H640P from Huion? Well, you get 6 customizable buttons that you can assign either macros or buttons. It's up to you. The software is fairly easy to use if you want to program those. Also, you cannot click the buttons with your pen. You basically have to really tap with your finger, or if you want to use a pen, you might run a chance to break your nib. Again, the clicking on this device doesn't feel quite as nice as a premium device, but again, we're talking about here at $50. It does click whenever you need it to click, especially for those buttons. So the pen itself comes with 2 programmable buttons that you'll see on the end and a nib, but strangely, there are no erasers that comes with this pen. Typically on a premium graphic tablets, you would simply reverse it to erase whatever modification you just made, which is not available here. But if you do want a pen that has eraser built in, for $12, I believe you can get the Huion P68 model that has a built-in eraser, and that can replace basically this pen to draw on your tablet. Again, is it necessary? Not necessarily. Just press your hotkey E on Photoshop and they should be there in the same moment. But again, I left a link in the description below for the Huion P68 if ever you want to acquire one for your brand new Huion tablet. Again, the software is fairly easy to use. It's nothing complicated. I'm using it personally for Windows and I haven't found any issues yet. It updated pretty perfectly, and it runs pretty smoothly. It just really runs off that you have to turn off Windows ink for some reasons, or else the tablet won't work as it is intended. So just make sure you just Google it quickly. You should find all the answers to set it up properly. But again, it functions very well with this. It actually faster than my old Intuos software, which has a hard time keeping up with Windows. Overall, I believe it's a good tablet for beginners due to its price and the available functionality. Again, this won't break your budget, and you will be able to retouch at a higher end using this instead of your mouse. And the benefit of this tablet is if ever you buy it first and you grow out of it, you can still keep it around. Let's say you're traveling and you don't want to carry a bigger surface because your luggage space is limited. You can always carry this around. It doesn't take too much real estate. For example, whenever I travel, I just wrap it up in a t-shirt and throw it in my bag just to avoid the brunt of impact, because again, this is a little flimsy. But for the demanding pro, I personally would not recommend this unless you are mindful of the limitations. The biggest limitations that I found for this tablet is pressure sensitivity is great, it does respond, but I had to sometimes like tap really hard the tablet in order to click. Sometimes it just doesn't respond the way that it should, and it can get annoying if ever you are a demanding pro that basically is retouching all day, every day. This won't keep up with you whatsoever. If ever you're on vacation and you just want to have something small in case it's a quick job, this might do the work. And also I noticed a bit of lag whenever I'm using this tablet, so it doesn't really like sync perfectly with my strokes. Sometimes it stutters a bit to catch up to where I am. So something to keep in mind for the working pros. I wouldn't recommend it personally. If I would be you and I would have a little more money, I would spend the money on the Intuos, the smallest one possible. It's similar size, and again, it comes with the Wacom Bluetooth, which is amazing, and also the Wacom quality, which is again very appreciated. So did you like this review? If so, you can tip us by buying anything from the link in the description below. That helps me basically keep this YouTube channel alive, and it's a big thank you. If you want to support us, you can leave a like to feed the YouTube algorithm to show other people that video. And also please make sure to subscribe to stay notified of the next videos that are coming out. And also leave a comment if you forgot something or you have any questions about the actual tablet or any other products. It will be a pleasure to answer your question. As always, good luck and happy retouching. Cheers.